Today we're going to bring an external drive reader. Now this one reads two types of drives. It could be your SATA drives, which is right here. It could accommodate the 3.5 or the 2.5, all right? Either or. So if you have the 2.5, if you can see there, it's actually screw areas that you can set them up, and then of course the larger one. Now one of the great things about it, like I said, it has an NVMe M.2 reader here, and it could go all the way to 80 millimeters. So all the way down to the smallest one, if you guys can see that. And they accommodate any kind of sizes. Like I said, they do have the actual additional screws for it in the setups, all right? Now in front, where you're gonna see it, you actually see here NVMe or SATA. You could change either or. It tells you information. You could switch from what drives you want to read. If you have two different drives, you want to transfer one drive to another. Clone, you could clone the drive, the external, the SATA drive, which is going to be the larger drives, to an actual M.2 or vice versa. Power, and then type C. This is going to be actually to transfer the information over from your computer or your laptop from here, and of course a DC because it does require power. Now to clone it, you're going to have to hold down, the light starts going, and it tells you here 25 to 100%. All right, and the SATA NVMe, which one's reading? All right, so it's going to show light power on, and then it either is reading the SATA or NVMe. All right, now when you set this up, you are going to need the power. They give you a Phillips. They give you, this is an addition that I like. They give you thermal tape and actually aluminum to actually keep it cool too. So you could cover it up and keep it there if you want. That's an option. And then the footing, the rubber footings that actually go in the bottom of the actual base. Now this one, when you're set it up, you got to make sure that these screws are actually going to be built for the bottom one, all right? So when you drive it in, you put it in the base, you're gonna have to screw it down here, and this actually is going to accommodate the actual hard drive too. Just make sure you're aware of that, right? If it's mechanical or solid state, and that's why you screw it up in there. It's plenty of ventilation, so it won't overheat. Very, very secure to take with you. Like I said, you could add additional rubber ends, and then they give you additional screws to also, so you could actually maintain the hard drive in one place, right? So we're going to put this together. All right, so we got our drive here in NVMe, 1 terabyte. We're going to set this up in here, and it's format right now to NTFS, so you could actually format within the system, and I'm going to show you. So all you got to do is make sure that it's in there, but prior to that, get this little rubber end, which is right here. I'm going to show you guys. It's a little tiny bit. It's made of rubber, right? This actually just locks it in place. It's a very simple process to actually just put it in place, and because I'm kind of blind, I'm going to see if I can put this with one. And I do have a 14 terabytes I'm going to be using this thing for, right? Now on the SATA drive, make sure that these are facing the proper way, all right? Because you guys can see it slides in there, all right? Just going to put it in there. This is a big drive. What you can do is before you put the cover, put the actual screws of the drive in here. So screws go in there, and they give you a little Phillips for this. Either way, you can slide it forward or back. Just make sure it pops up in there. You guys can see that. Once you see that it's locked in, put in your screws, right? All right, we got it all set up already. We're going to plug it in. And I do have a USB already to transfer the actual data. All right, so we got our computer management. This is a system we're going to format. It's on right now. I can feel it. It's on. We're going to go to disk management. All right, we're looking for the 14 gigs there and haven't been format. The other one came up automatically, the J drive, the one I formatted earlier, the M.2. So that one's formatted and it popped up in there. I'm going to show you guys right now in a bit. But right now, what we want to format is the actual hard drive itself. So we're going to, while we wait this, it's going to pop up with a couple messages of what you want to format. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, I have to initialize it first because it was somehow it turned off or something. So this 7, we're gonna format it, right? And we're not gonna partition it. We're not gonna do a master reset. We're just gonna do a regular boot, not a boot up from the actual system. So we're just gonna format it right from right here. So we got it up and running. We're gonna say new simple. Now next on this one, we could partition the drive to 2, 3, or 4 different drives, even 6 if you want. But right now we're just gonna use the full force on it. Now On this one, we're going to do K, so that's fine. We'll leave it as K to mount. All right, and this is an option that you got to make sure you're aware. FAT32, it's for older systems that are not capable of the old systems where it's very secure. You could transfer rates about 5 gigs of information over to the drive at a time. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you put NTFS. But if you have a Mac, FAT32 will probably be the only way they could transfer from Windows to Mac. All right. On this format, it's only for Windows base, but Mac is understanding the next version of Mac. It does read this kind of file too. But at the moment right now, you're capable only through certain features on the actual system. So just be aware about that. All right. So we're going to say new volume, hit finish, and then it's going to say format, quick format, and start the system. Make sure you're aware that it's going to delete all your stuff, right? You want to make sure that if you have stuff in there, everything's gone. To recover, it's a lot difficult, but there's a way to recover it, but you have to at least have some more than 10 times writing information in there in order to recover that stuff. So hit OK. And this is because it's a brand new drive. So we got it going. So once we got it in here, close this out, say OK, close this. So we have K drive. I'm going to transfer something from here, from this drive to, from this drive, we're going to transfer something. I'm going to transfer something quick, a dash cam, right? And this is about 6 gigs. And before I do that, let me show you the 6 gigs on it. So put it back in here, 6 gigs. It's about 6.11, right? So this is file here. We're going to transfer in here to the actual drive. I'm going to see how the transfer rate on this one. And the read rate is a lot better than some of them, which is 30 megabytes per second on the speeds, which is not bad. And this is it's because it's an external drive. You're only limited on your actual drive that you connect your actual cable. It's important to have the greatest cables, the latest cables, not the greatest, the latest cables in order to make the transfer rate. Now, some of the systems do transfer power and data, but unfortunately this one is separate. It's an older version of the actual, it's not the 3.1 connection, but it is 3. Its transfer is still good. It's just going to take you some time, a little slower than other connections. So just make sure you have the proper connection in order to start transferring the files. All right. While that's transferring, I'm going to put this down here, transferring over to our drive. I'm going to show you the J drive. J drive is the other drive too. So we're also going to transfer the document that we just did right now. We're also going to transfer to there at the same time. So we're going to have 2 files transfer into 2 different locations at the same time. Now this one's going to be a little slower, and they split the difference. If you guys can see, 15 and 15. So instead of 30 megabytes per second on the transfer rate of 6.11 gigs, it's going to split the difference on this. So if you're going to transfer at the same time, just be aware. If you're going to do large data, use one at a time, because this is what the cost is. 2 different splits, 2 different speeds. So overall, the drive is working very well, easy to set up. I hope you guys enjoy the video.